It was about 2.5 years ago. I got sick. It was on a Thursday. Just felt like, I had a little stomach virus, was nauseous, throwing up, mild fever, just gonna let it run its course and, just hope to get better. Friday wasn't any better. So I called my doctor and told him, what was going on. He called me in some Phenergan. I knew there wasn't nothing he could do. Just thought it was a stomach virus. Over the weekend, my fever peaked up to 102, 103. Couldn't ever get my fever down. Was just sick all weekend, couldn't move, couldn't eat, couldn't do nothing. By Monday, I wasn't any better, still had the fever. So I went in to see him. Called the doctor, they got me in. He didn't do nothing. All he did was give me a prescription for cough medicine. I'd already known that I probably had bronchitis, probably more than likely pneumonia, because I've had bronchitis before and it was completely different. I couldn't brush my hair, couldn't lift my head, my chest, it just hurt. It just wouldn't get any better. But he didn't do nothing. Sent me on my way. By Wednesday, I couldn't walk because my legs hurt so bad. Felt like I had Charlie horses just constantly in my legs. Fever still there, not any better. My mom said, call the doctor back. Called my doctor back. He said, I'll call you in some Phenergan suppositories. Not get your butt back in here because you've been sick for almost a week, not getting any better, no signs of improvement, nothing. He's like, I'm not going to do nothing. So my mom said, you call somebody else. And I was delirious. My mom had to drive me there. I get there, they take me in, and they tell Dr. Barton everything. He's like, well, have you been bit by a tick? Like, no, not that I know. I'd know if I'd been bit by a tick. Yeah. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to run this test, and this test. And then he did my x-rays in my lungs. He proceeds to tell me that my whole left lung was filled with pneumonia. I don't remember hardly any of this. I just remember very bits and pieces. And he's like, you don't stop go, and you just get to the hospital. They get me into the hospital. Apparently I'm supposed to be quarantined because they think I might have the swine flu, because this is at the time of the swine flu. At this time, they tell me that, my liver's not, functioning right, my kidneys aren't functioning right, my whole body's just basically shutting down. Well, the next morning, they hadn't, checked me in my room in 3 or 4 hours at St. Mary's. The nurse that takes me down to do my bone marrow test, she catches that after she gets me into the room, my fever's 103, my heart rate's 120, and my blood pressure was 60/40, and I was just crashing. I was like telling them I just want to go to sleep, just let me go to sleep. They wouldn't let me go to sleep. Everyone's just trying to keep me awake, saying, Sierra, wake up, Sierra, wake up. And the nurse had to start another IV immediately, and then they just took me to ICU. And the very next day, they transferred me to Baptist Hospital. I spent a total days between ICU at St. Mary's and ICU at Baptist. I spent 5.5 days in ICU, 2 weeks total in the hospital. Come to find out, I ended up having pneumonia, a viral heart infection, tick fever, had the flu. And so after I got out of ICU, they had to put me on the heart floor to monitor me. They had to put me, through physical therapy to get my strength back. I had to do lung function tests to get my lungs built back up. They told me that the doctor said if I would have waited one more day that I would have died. I still believe that probably a few more hours, it probably would have killed me.